So this is the video presentation of the 542nd sub-prediction or prediction for the second and third fire signs of 1 Kings 18. We really need to think, of course, that the 541st was correct, with Tammuz the 6th, which is the late 1 NC Pentecost. But we're now going essentially for Tammuz, for Tammuz 10 and 11. Tammuz 11 is the second 1 NC Pentecost, which is a 50-day count from ER 22, which is a late first fruits, from ER 14, the late Passover, or the second Passover. The Passover in ER 14 was the Sabbath. So the interposing Sabbath, weekly Sabbath, was the 21st. And then the 22nd is first fruits, late first fruits or second first fruits. And you count 50 days inclusively to Tammuz 11. But actually in the definition of the Pentecost count, it says you count 7 Sabbaths. And then it says, and you count to the day after 7 Sabbaths. In other words, you don't really count 50 at all, you count 49. And so it's a 59 count, which is worded as a 49 count. Therefore, in Acts 2, when it says the day of the Pentecost, when it was fully completed, the day of the Pentecost was fully completed. It could mean that the Pentecost festival day is fully completed, or it could mean the day of the 50 count is fully completed, and the day of the 50 count being fully completed is the 7th Sabbath, because you actually count 49 7 Sabbaths, and then you say, well, that was after that, we'll have the festival. You know, you don't actually count to the 50th day, you count to the 49th day, and then say, well, it's tomorrow. It's rather like saying, well, 3 is 2 plus 1. In other words, you can have a fulfillment, a Pentecostal fulfillment of both Acts 2 and of 1 Kings 18, because it's a Pentecost, a 50 count. The Greek word means 50 count, and in fact it's a 49 count. So you can have it on Tammuz 10 or Tammuz 11. Now, we think it's that the second fire sign will be Tammuz 10 and the third Tammuz 11, or possibly both of them certainly both will be on either the 10th or the 11th. This is because basically the Passover begins on the 10th. That's when you put the sheep in the house. That's Passover entry date. And so it's got to happen by the 10th. And secondly, we know that the tetramenos of John 4 is exactly 4 months, because there's no greater meaning to tetramenos, because it's an adjective. And adjectives don't have a greater meaning, only nouns do. And so it's 4 months. And we know it ends on Heshvan 10, which is the completed Third Holy Spirit marriage Pentecost. And so it therefore starts on Tammuz 10. I suppose you could start on Tammuz 11 if you're counting it inclusively. Tammuz 10 or 11. But basically, Tammuz 10 is when the Passover entry day is supposed to occur. So in order to get a proper Passover, you need a sign on Tammuz 10, and you need actually to baptize a 1 NC reserve on that day. We don't have to change much else from our 541st sub-prediction other than that. The other cute thing is that being a second First New Covenant Pentecost, it is in fact the 11th of the contest, because contest began Sivan 12, which was our revised first prediction. When people started looking, it was revised on Sivan 1 before the contest began. So people started looking seriously if they had any interest in our predictions, which they did initially, but that waned when we got to the 4th, I think. They started looking Sivan 12, and also that's 11 times 4, 50 after my first letter, and I am alone as a prophet of Jehovah with the prophets of Baal, 450 men, is a witness to a period of being left alone or ignored of 450 times something. So there's 4950 days from when I gave my first letter to the society, when it was hand-delivered to Brooklyn, to the 12 governing body members. From then until Sivan 11, 2006, which was when the period of me being left alone and ignored. Then they stopped ignoring me on Sivan 12 because they started looking to see if I got this prediction right, and that was the beginning of the contest. So the contest began Sivan 12 actually, which is after the 1 NC Pentecost, which was on Sivan 7 that year, I think, but before the second 1 NC, or the second 1 NC Pentecost counted from ER 22, which is on Tammuz 11. So in other words, what we're now saying is we're going to get a fire sign on the 11th second 1 NC Pentecost, because there's one in 2006 on Tammuz 11, then 2006 to 2016 inclusively is 11. So 11 Pentecosts, this is happening on the 11th Pentecost. Now there were 550 prophets who turned up at this contest, 450 of Baal who were invited and turned up, 400 of Asherah were invited and didn't turn up, and 100 of Jehovah were not invited but turned up. So there's 550 prophets plus Elijah. That is a witness to 11 Pentecosts. In fact, the first Pentecost of the contest was Thames 11, 2006, which was the second Wednesday Pentecost. And after 11 of those, we have the fire sign. And as I say, because of the ambiguity of the definition of the Pentecost count and the festival, you can take it as 49 or 50, so you can have a fast sign on Thames 10 or 11, or 2 on the 10th, or 2 on the 11th, or 1 on each, which is our present prediction. The Gregorian dates for this are basically, it's the Sabbath coming, it's Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, which is Friday, June the 17th to Saturday, June the 18th, and then the Sunday is Thames 11, which is Saturday sunset, June the 18th, to Sunday sunset, June the 19th. Now, we have to say something at this point about 616, because here we are in June 2016, which is 616, the 6th month of the 16th year of the millennium. But June the 16th, which is today, is the 16th day of the 6th month, in the 6th month of the 16th year of the millennium, which is why I took it upon myself to upload the present 542nd prediction at 16 minutes past 6 on the 16th day of the 6th month, in the 6th month of the 16th year. So, however you look at it, it's very 616-y. And I was born on Elul the 16th on 616, and I baptised the first Lord's Witness in 2000 on Tony on 16th of Elul 616, and I baptised Roger Knight of who began Laodicea on the 16th of Elul 2002, and Dave, who was the first apostle, I met him on the 16th of Bethel 2001, the first time. So we've always been a very 616-y church, if you pardon the expression. And so that's why it would be fitting, because it's a man's number and a number of the beast. And we would say that the man is the true church and the beast is the UN, or in one of the symbolisms of Revelation 13. So 616, very, very apposite. And of course it's not 666, that's a corruption. There's I can't pronounce it, but an onyxiphorus or something, onyxiphorus or something, fragment that's in the Oxford Library that they found, which shows it's 616. It's the oldest fragment of scripture of Revelation 13. It's not the whole chapter, it's just a bit of it. So it's this weekend, thanks.